from Ohio, Mr. Kucinich.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I'm asking these questions on behalf of my constituents in Ohio, who are policemen, firemen, teachers, and other public employees in Ohio who AIG defrauded their pension funds. These are people who protect our neighborhoods, teach our children, dedicate themselves to public service, and AIG cheated them out of $96 million. Now, AIG has admitted on multiple occasions through guilty pleas and restatements of 24 transactions that the company defrauded investors and lied to regulators. My question to Mr. Liddy: does your business plan include settlement of lawsuits against AIG for bid rigging, accounting fraud, and market manipulation of AIG stock prices? We know that you paid $800 million settlement to the SEC and $375 million to the New York Attorney General. And if it does include it, why, after receiving $85 billion on September 16, 2008, and after you assuming the duties of CEO of AIG on September 18, 2008, why is it that AIG has cut off communications with representatives of a class action, which includes police, fire, teachers, and other public employees in Ohio whose pension funds AIG defrauded? And how can you tell this committee that those 8 months which have passed, which are contemporaneous with you becoming CEO, that you did not direct AIG to basically stall and continue the defrauding of these public employees in Ohio? Mr. Liddy.
Congressman, I'm sorry, I just am not familiar with all the particulars of the particular suit that you have just referenced.
Let me help you. On March the 26th, you sat in front of a Financial Services Committee. This issue was asked. I want the members of this committee to follow this now. You were asked about this before. You told the committee you'll look into it. Do everything you can to make sure it gets resolved. Now, you said you would do everything on March 26th. This is after people had already been waiting for months to hear whether their pensions were going to be secure. Can you name one thing, just name one thing that you've done to get this matter resolved with respect to the defrauding of policemen, firemen, teachers, and public employees in the state of Ohio defrauding their pension fund? Can you name one thing that you, as the CEO, have done about this?
Anything involving legal settlements or legal challenges, I depend upon our very substantial legal department to resolve. I believe that they have been in either negotiation or contacts. I don't know. We will meet with you. I will personally meet with you to make sure that we advance the situation.
That's fine. Now, I want the committee to be aware of this. AIG repaid counterparties 1-to-1. Counterparties in England, in Germany, in France. Dollar for dollar, you repaid them. But when it comes to police and fire and teachers in Ohio, zero for the dollars they invested. This is during your watch. You can't say this is about some other CEO. This is not acceptable, Mr. Liddy. You cannot get $182 billion, as my friend Mr. Cummings pointed out, and then say, well, we want to be spared criticism. Yes, this is criticism. AIG cheated police, fire, teachers, and public employees in Ohio out of $96 million. That may not seem like a lot of money to a firm that's used to dealing in trillions. But you cheated people who save lives, who teach our children, and I want to know right now what you're going to do about it. What are you going to do about this?
As I said, we will meet. I'll meet with you right after this meeting if you'd like, and we can begin to understand exactly where we are. I just don't have the information on it. All of the things that you've mentioned, I'm very sensitive to them. They did all occur before my watch, but I'm prepared to take responsibility to decide whether they should be resolved, and if so, how.
Well, you know, we know that two other parties have already been settled in the class action case, Price Waterhouse and General Reinsurance Corp. Do you just feel that when it comes to public employees, you can roll them, you can just dismiss them? Is this your attitude? You haven't resolved this, Mr. Liddy, on your watch.
we will work with you and do everything we can to get it resolved, sir.
Mr. Liddy, I'm the chairman of the subcommittee on domestic policy. And until this matter is resolved, you are going to keep getting called in front of Congress to explain why it's okay for AIG to cheat police, firemen, teachers, and public employees. I'm not going to let you go, Mr. Liddy. And I'll talk to you after the meeting, but you're not going to roll this member, guaranteed.
Yes, I'm not. We'll get together after the meeting. We'll do everything we can to make sure that we resolve it.
You
as
said that
quickly
on
as we
March
can.
26th. I have your quote. Not good, Mr. Liddy. God bless you. Thanks for being here. But there's a moment here of truth, and you are going to have to remember these police, fire, and teachers. Mr. Chairman, I came to this Congress not to represent these people on Wall Street who have been shafting the American people. I came here to represent my constituents, and that's who I'm speaking on behalf of right now. Not going to let you go. Not going to let you get away with it. Thank you.
Thank you, and the gentleman's time has expired.